Can you please tell me your name?
My name is Raza Shah Khan.
And what country are you from, Raza?
I'm from Pakistan.
And what organization do you work with?
I represent Sustainable Peace and Development Organization, which is the focal point for the CMC and ICBL in Pakistan.
Can you please tell me a little bit about the landmine and cluster bomb situation in Pakistan?
You asked about landmines and cluster bombs. So we are affected due to landmines along the border with Afghanistan because of the war in Afghanistan. And then both India and Pakistan have deployed millions of landmines along the border with India in Kashmir. So we have hundreds and thousands of landmine victims, and I can say that already it is even not mentioned as a mine-affected country, but we have so many victims that we can call it a mine-affected country because we have a lot of victims and survivors. Regarding the cluster munition, Pakistan has not that much problem with the cluster munitions, but it is a producer and stockpiler of cluster munition in the region. Unfortunately, not supporting the convention.
Okay. You've been involved with Mines Action Canada's programs targeting young people. Can you tell me a little bit about your involvement with Mines Action Canada's youth program?
Indeed, it was a great, and it is a great pleasure for Sustainable Peace and Development Organization to be a partner of Mines Action Canada, because it was Mines Action Canada, with the support of Mines Action Canada, that we initiated our Youth for Peace network, which is now very well known throughout the Pakistan, being a very progressive and dynamic peace network involved in even development issues, non-violence issues. Our youth representative attended Mines Action Canada training programs in Sri Lanka, in Jordan, and they have youth leadership training programs, and it's growing day by day. And the most important thing that is very much necessary, particularly in Pakistan, is working with youth. Like we have a large number of youth percentage. The population of youth is almost more than 50%, and people are now very much interested in youth-related engagements. And it is because of the Mines Action Canada support that even now we are working even with Afghanistan. We have now a Pak-Afghan Youth Council for Peace and Trust Building. It has been recently launched.
What would be the impact on your work if Mines Action Canada suddenly stopped working with young people?
You ask about if Mines Action Canada stopped. Actually, working with youth is indeed such a work that needs constant support and constant resources, even in shape of publications, trainings, and kind of capacity building. Because in Pakistan, it's unfortunate that we don't have such productive youth platforms, and most of the youth are being exploited by the extremists and by the religious sentiment, by the political sentiments, and they have a huge potential available. So, and you know, it's an underdeveloped country. So what I personally believe is that we, in reality, if Mines Action Canada was not with us, we were not even able to effectively sustain what we are doing now. So we are so grateful to the Mines Action Canada support that now our youth network is building their own capacities, and even now they have started their own fundraising.
In Canada, we don't have landmines, we don't have cluster bombs. Why should Canadians care about these issues?
It is a question even people ask from us, even when we lobby the people in Pakistan. We are proud to be a partner of Mines Action Canada in Pakistan, because it is an example to the rest of the world that Canada is not mine affected. and Canada have not survivor, but still it has a leading role. So what we say to the world that the Canadian people and the Canadian organizations have such a dynamic role to play that we should follow that. Like we believe that we are looking at the survivors. We have the innocent survivors, their families, their affected communities. So why not, if a country which is not affected has playing a leading role, why not Pakistan, which is a kind of affected country, should have a kind of positive role in these issues?
If you had one message to give to the Canadian government about the landmines issue or about the cluster munitions issue and their role, what would it be?
For me, like a peace worker and a campaigner for the last 10 years, I am particularly impressed and really appreciate the role of the Canadian government, which they have played in eradicating the menace of landmines from the surface of the earth, particularly through their diplomatic missions. Even in Pakistan, they were so much supportive to us. The High Commissioner came to our National Youth Conference in Lahore. So he was a main speaker. He came from Islamabad to attend that youth conference at national level. So I am personally so much impressed, and it was a kind of great honor and privilege for me to work in partnership with the Canadian government. Secondly, they supported the campaigns in the developing countries, like we have been funded by the Canadian government for the universalization of the Landmine Convention. Regarding the cluster munitions issue, I was a little bit disappointed in the beginning that why Canada is not going to adopt the draft text in Dublin, and I was so much, a little bit worrying that Canada had such a leading role in the Landmine Convention. But at later stage, when they decided that Canada is going to adopt the text and they were happy with that, so I became even, because I have a kind of very strong affiliation with the Canadian government, so I was quite happy with their later decision that they are going to endorse the text.
Why has it been important for you to be involved with Landmine Monitor?
For me, like, in our region, there is very much less work going on. There is no research work in reality. We need groundwork. We need some, what we can say, field research work that which can show to the government of Pakistan. If you remember, initially the government of Pakistan was denying that they have any landmine problem. But now, because of the Landmine Monitor, they, in their reports, they mentioned that they have a problem of landmines. So it is because of the Landmine Monitor that we realized to the government of Pakistan that there is a landmine problem, that there are survivors, they need attention, they need rehabilitation, and you have to act responsibly. So that was one of my motivation when I looked at survivors. I belong from that particular area. I have studied in the tribal area. I was born in the tribal area, so I can understand the miseries and the problems of the survivors living in those isolated areas, particularly women and children, having no resources. So that was my motivation to work on Landmine Monitor. And more importantly, this report has even educated our parliamentarians, our military, and our foreign ministry, and it has pressurized even the government. We have a recent example that when the government decided to mine the border with Afghanistan, it was because of the, what you can say, the effective what information we had from the Landmine Monitor to show to the government of Pakistan that landmines will not work as a weapon of defense, or a weapon that can serve your purpose of monitoring your border. So in reality, like I am researcher for the last almost 8-9 years. It is really a kind of tool with us which we use in our research work, and at the same time we use Landmine monitor in our advocacy and lobbying work.
In one sentence or less, tell me why Landmine Monitor is important.
You ask why Landmine monitor is important.
One sentence.
It is an effective tool of monitoring the whole convention through civil society to realize to the government to act responsibly and to respond positively to the Landmine ban convention.